Okay, so I've been an Android user since my very first smartphone back in 2012, and I've only used Android smartphones for the most part all the way up until now. Up until now meaning I now have switched over to an iPhone. What? Let's talk about it. Alright, now don't get me wrong, just because I've switched to an iPhone, that doesn't mean I don't like Android anymore. I still do like Android. In fact, there are a lot of things that I still miss from Android after switching to this iPhone. And I figured let's talk about those things before I talk about what I like about this guy.
Now, the Android phone I was using before was the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G, so it only made sense that I would switch to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. You see, I like them big and I like them chunky, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the epitome of that in the phone market right now. But we'll get to that later. First, I want to talk about what I miss after I switched to this iPhone. The first being chat bubbles, which allowed me to have access to my messages anytime I wanted, no matter what app I was using, as the message bubbles were able to float around anywhere, and I never missed my messages because of this. It's like having picture-in-picture mode, except for messages. And that's another thing I miss from my Android phone. Actual picture-in-picture mode from the app itself, not some workaround on Safari. When I'm using YouTube on my phone, I'm going to use the app, not opening Safari and then opening up YouTube just to get picture-in-picture mode. It's just far more convenient to have it on the app, but on iOS you can't do that. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to, but as of right now, we can't, and we're forced to use Safari as a workaround if you want to access picture-in-picture mode, which really sucks if you're into multitasking. Another thing I miss from my Android phone is the general app freedom, as Google is less strict about their apps regulations. Of course, this also means there's a lot more random apps that you probably can't trust in the store, but if you know what you're doing, you should be fine. And you don't even have to use the dedicated Google Play Store to get all your apps. You can also go to websites to get apps. Speaking of freedom, Android just generally had more freedom with customization as well, so I can customize my lock screen to interesting lock screens. You don't even have to use the launcher that the phone came with. I'm using Nova Launcher because I actually personally prefer the organization of that much more. You can also install themes easily to really overhaul the look of your phone and all your apps, which made the phone definitely feel more fully mine. Another thing I missed having on my phone was USB-C. Most phones these days actually also use USB-C, and it's a very common cable type right now. We've been wanting USB-C on iPhone since the 10, but nope, we still got Lightning. And on that note, I missed the plug-and-play abilities of an Android phone. It made file management significantly easier. With iPhones, you're still stuck with iTunes.
No! Now, when it comes to screen refresh rate, you would think I would miss having 120 Hz, but honestly, I didn't really care much. While it was nice to have a really smooth screen, it didn't really matter to me, and therefore I didn't really notice much of a difference in my experience using the phone. Like, realistically speaking, most of the things we do on our phones don't even benefit from the 120 Hz screen. The only thing that would actually use that screen to its full potential is probably gaming. Like, don't get me wrong, it is really nice to have a smooth screen, but 60 Hz is smooth enough for most of the tasks. Now, that's pretty much all I miss from my Android phone, or rather my Note 20 Ultra in particular. So let's get on to what I like about my iPhone that I've had it for like a while and used it for a while. Now, I would be lying to you if I told you that the build didn't affect my choice of phone.
You see, I'm a hardware guy, and I very much love well-built, solid items like this iPhone. The only thing I don't like is how reflective some of the bits are, such as the Apple logo on the camera, as well as the sides, making them all fingerprint magnets. Now, what I do love about the sides is how flat and sharp these angles are. I love this boxy design. It just feels very solid and just right in my hand. And this is ever more so true with the Pro models of the iPhone 12s, as the sides are made of steel, giving them more heft and strength. Even the buttons are goddamn amazingly solid feeling. Another thing I like about iPhones is the fact that they get all the cool accessories. Like, not just MagSafe, but also third-party accessories. Apple just simply has a lot of support and often gets more catered accessories. You get access to all the nicest things. And with MagSafe on the 12s, we're definitely expecting to see really interesting accessories, like this MagSafe power bank. iOS also gets more catered apps, as there's just fewer iPhone models for app developers to deal with, unlike on Androids where they come in many different shapes and forms. Even simple apps like the Starbucks apps is better on iOS, where they even bother putting animations into it just to put a little cherry on top. Androids, on the other hand, get absolutely nothing. Now, what iOS doesn't have is customization. You can't really do much with it. Even the home screen doesn't let you put the app anywhere you want. You can't even swipe more apps into like the little bottom dock, so you can have 5. You can only have 4. We at least finally get widgets, which are neat, I guess, but Android has had widgets since forever, honestly. And for a while, I thought that the whole lack of customization would kind of bother me, but at the end of the day, after using the phone for a while, I just kind of didn't care. I kind of forgot that it was a problem, because it was never a problem to start with. If anything, it gave me less extraneous things to think and worry about, and let me focus on the things I need to do. Yeah, I couldn't do everything I wanted, but I could do everything I needed, and then some, which was kind of nice.
Now, as for other things I like about the phone, I'm finally able to use iMessage, which is kind of nice. Look, I'm not a green bubble anymore. A lot of the people in my life just happen to use iMessage more, so this is just a little minor convenience buff. Another thing that was nice to have with this iPhone is the fact that I can now airdrop things like to my tablet or to friends and family. It's just kind of convenient. Now, a really big benefit I get from just using an Apple device and being on iOS is I get a lot of support in general. I get the ecosystem support, so I have like really good integration with Apple's devices together, and I get a lot of support from Apple themselves, always updating this phone whenever it needs to be updated, and I can expect this phone to be updated for like many years to come, because they're even still updating like phones all the way down to the 6S as of right now. So like if I don't like the next phone or the next phone after that phone, I can still hang on to the 12 and be happy with it and know that I'll have updates from Apple. With other Android devices, the support usually doesn't last very long, especially for Samsung, despite Samsung essentially being almost like at the very top of the Android market when it comes to Android phones. Now, with support from Apple aside, support for Apple products is super good. Like I have basically access to like I said earlier, all the best accessories, because a lot of hardware companies will be making things for the iPhone first, since they have so much strength in the market. But also, like in the app market, I can always expect my software to be well up to date and working quite well. Like apps aren't just better catered for the iPhone, they're generally more stable, because if there are problems, they get fixed really quickly for iOS. That's just the strength of using an Apple product and how strong Apple is in the hardware and the software market. It's just the benefit of being on iPhone and I guess being in the ecosystem. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got about like the differences, what I miss and what I like about the phone. Like, there's a lot to like about this phone, and honestly, I will really miss a lot of those things I mentioned earlier about Android phones. But it's nothing I'll miss very long, because honestly, at the end of the day, if this phone has taught me anything, it's that those things don't matter all that much. Apple's the only company to give me a phone with technically less features, and yet I still feel like I'm getting more out of the phone, which is actually, it's kind of nice. It's like a very Zen-like, less is more kind of situation. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm technically trading in like extra features for more overall support from like hardware and software levels. And even then, some of these features that I miss from my like Android phone might come on to my iPhone. Like, you know, proper picture-in-picture from the actual app itself, or maybe chat bubbles, you know, in case Apple's listening or watching this video or will watch this anytime soon. I'd like to see that. And on the next phone, I'd also like to see a faster refresh rate. Like if you don't want to go that high, 90 is a pretty cool number. It's smooth enough for basically everything, and not too much where it'll like kill off your battery like really quickly. Just saying in case Apple's watching, you know. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got, and I guess to sum it up, I will be keeping my iPhone. I'm actually very much liking this experience. I'm not saying I'm gonna be with them forever. I may switch back to Android if it gets kind of like bad, but so far, it's been a very good experience. And if you want to see more Apple content, do let me know in the comments. I might like do more stuff on iPhones and even like my iPad or maybe MacBooks if I ever get one, because that M1 MacBook is looking very tempting right now. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna probably finish up for today. That's pretty much all I got. I want to make this too long. So if you liked the video, do like and subscribe. If you hated the video, do dislike the video. Maybe you think I'm a traitor to Android or something like that. I guess you can dislike too if you want to do that. Anyway, guys, it's been a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.